irrespective of their ethnicity or worldview. We look around us and see evil everywhere. We see desire to good, but instead we see injustice and violence all around us in big and small ways. If you think about it, it is when we are on the receiving end of injustice. We complain, we cry. We also try to do something about it. We come up with our own solutions. We work ourselves to death. We execute criminals. We shout, protest, and revolt for social causes. The problems don't really go, do they? Whenever the people of Israel worshipped Baal and Asherah to fix their problem so that their lands would produce more grain for prosperity and pleasure, God let them be defeated by their enemies. Whenever the people of Israel disobeyed God and worshipped other gods, their personal lives were unholy and there was injustice in the society. To correct them, God let them be defeated by their enemies. When God's people cried out to God because they were in trouble, God sent his servants to speak to the people, to correct them and to encourage them. A lot of times, the encouragement was to tell them about a coming Savior who would fix the problem. Who would be the solution? Prophets were God's spokesperson and they talked about Jesus' birth. What are the chances that someone could predict today the exact city in which a future leader would be born in the year 2700? This is what the prophet Micah did 700 years before Jesus. Again, what is the likelihood of predicting the specific date of the appearance of some great future leader? Hundreds of years in advance, this is what Daniel did 550 years before Christ.
So let's begin a short skit looking into the prophecies about Jesus' birth as we read them in the Old Testament. In Genesis 22:18, we are told that through Abraham's offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed. Jesus is the fulfillment of this promise. Moses said to the Israelites,
The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your countrymen. You shall listen to him.
Then Moses assured the people of Israel that a great prophet was coming. The next set of prophecies did not occur for nearly 400 years, and they were written during the time of David. In 2 Samuel 7:12, God speaks to David through Nathan the prophet.
When your days are complete and you lie down with your fathers, I will rise up your descendant after you, who will come forth from you, and I will establish his kingdom.
David was a good king, and God promised David that the king who is to come will be his descendant. After a period of silence in which the nation of Israel was divided, Micah prophesied during the reign of four kings. Micah's book generally exposes the sin of his countrymen. Then he focuses on the punishment God is about to send. And the final portion holds out the hope of restoration once that discipline has ended.
But as for you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you one will go forth for me to be ruler in Israel. His goings forth are from long ago, from the days of eternity.
That was from Micah chapter 5, verse 2 to 5. Micah prophesied that only the coming of the Messiah will bring about the complete restoration of God's people. Isaiah's prophetic ministry spanned the reigns of four kings of Judah and covered 60 years. He is responsible for more messianic prophecy than any other Jewish prophet. Isaiah told his people that God calls his people to a life of righteousness and justice. But when they turn their backs on him and his ways, the inevitable result is judgment. Yet God will always preserve a remnant for himself and will save and rescue them in amazing ways that will ultimately bless the entire world.
For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders. And his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin will be with child and bear a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel.
Isaiah prophecy talks about the perfect king and his qualifications for ruling. God's creational purpose to establish his kingdom on earth will be accomplished through this king. Daniel's life and ministry covered the entire 70 years of the Babylonian captivity. Daniel had visions of the coming Son of Man. His dreams reminded us that God rules over the affairs of men, and no one can derail his plans or stop him from acting. He is absolutely sovereign.
Now listen and understand. 7 sets of 7 plus 62 sets of 7 will pass from the time the command is given to rebuild Jerusalem until a ruler, the anointed one, comes. Jerusalem will be rebuilt with streets and strong defenses despite the perilous time.
Daniel's visions provided clear data related to the Messiah, including a remarkable prediction about the timing of the Messiah's arrival. Just as foretold, Mary indeed did conceive and bore a son who is called Emmanuel. This amazing event demonstrates God's infinite knowledge and power. He is capable of foretelling the future with perfect precision, and he has the power to bring his prophecies to pass. Even if that means a virgin would need to conceive and bear a son, God had a great plan to rescue people from sin, their biggest problem and the root cause for all other problems. God's plan was not a secret plan. The prophets told about God's plan. They said God would send a Messiah, Jesus. Jesus was born as a baby, for only as a human being could he die, and only by dying could he break the power of the devil. So, yeah, that